Event professionals must use negotiation techniques throughout the event planning process. Strong communication skills are especially critical in the initial sales process, as the client often has several venues from which to choose. The sales manager must clearly communicate not only what the facility has to offer, but also the policies, procedures, and requirements that go along with having an event at a university. For instance, one must mention the insurance requirements, minors on campus policy, and alcohol restrictions from the outset. Otherwise, a client could claim he or she was not aware of these policies as they get closer to the event and are locked into having the event at the venue. Once the agreement is signed and the event manager guides the client through the event planning process, clear communication and negotiation about their event options and choices continues critical. For example, the client may suggest turning the event setup 90 degrees, causing the stage to be placed far from a power supply. An event manager must use his or her negotiation skills to explain why, for logistics as well as budget concerns, the event would be best set up as originally planned. Several long-standing negotiation techniques are especially helpful in the events business. The first involves researching and understanding the client. When a client first inquires about an event space, the salesperson should research the background of the person, organization, or company. It is best to know what their business mission relates to. Do they represent a non-profit, providing counseling services to underprivileged youth, or a high-end software company, inviting clients for a product demonstration? Although each client will be treated equally, the sales message can be tailored toward the specific event needs. Think of a commonality with the client, such as a regional similarity or interesting anecdote that relates to their business. Research shows that clients who have a similarity or affinity toward a salesperson are more likely to be open to negotiations. Brainstorm on how the university facility could be a good fit for this client. Perhaps they need a quiet space away from students, a location in walking distance of the food court, or a building with parking in close proximity. Have a plan and strategy in mind of how to execute their vision. Next, while the client is explaining their event vision over the telephone, invite him or her for a walkthrough of the space. This will help the client not only see the beauty of the space, but also envision their event in the facility. This is called the foot in the door technique. Get them to agree to something small, like a site inspection, and they will have an easier time agreeing to something larger, like booking the event. The original research on this technique was published in 1966 by two Stanford researchers who emulated door-to-door salespeople to test customers' willingness to agree to small and large requests. The results showed that a series of small requests, followed by the large requests, worked more effectively than a large request at the outset. Building the relationship and getting the client to say yes is best accomplished by layering the requests. At the walkthrough, start by showing the marquee space, even if this will not work for their budget or event needs. This is the face in the door technique. If the client sees the most expensive space first, the smaller classroom will not seem as expensive. It sets a context and range on the spaces. Moreover, they may have an event in the future where the grand space will work. Since the client came out to see the site, it is important to show the range of possibilities. Realtors or car salespeople often use the face in the door technique. First, the customers are taken to see the grandest house for sale in the area or most expensive car on the lot. Then they are shown house or car that fits more closely with their budget. By going from most expensive downward, the less expensive item does not seem as out of reach. The differentiation technique of negotiation is very helpful in event sales. Devise a few key talking points that differentiate the university's facility from the competition in town. Perhaps there is an open-air patio included with the rental, free parking, or catering kitchen that allows outside food service providers. In Las Vegas, the university competes against high-end hotels that offer world-class amenities and casinos. By saying the college is an educated choice away from the commotion of the tourist attraction, clients can concentrate on their meeting and not wander into the casino and miss the presentation. This sets the facility apart from the competition. Next, use the scarcity technique by placing a limitation on the space. We are booking up fast, or this is the only Saturday evening available for 2 months. Places a sense of urgency on the space. A client who has too much time to decide may delay the event altogether. On the other hand, some clients do need time to make an informed decision, and for these clients, the soft negotiation technique works well. Suggest that the space will be on hold for 2 weeks and offer to give them the right of first refusal. That is, if someone else inquires about the space, the first client will be called to see if they will use or release the space. This technique tells the client that the event manager is sensitive to their decision-making process and wants to allow time to make the best choice. By being on their side, the client may be more likely to choose the university venue. In the case of products or services for events, the time frame technique can be used. This is where the client tests the product for a given amount of time. For example, a week trial of online registration services, linen exchange, or a recreation center membership. Not only can this get the client, there is a plethora of research on negotiation and communication as it relates to the business world. Many of the ideas presented have withstood the test of time and are used over and again by successful salespeople in a variety of fields. These techniques are also applicable in the university events field, although one must think carefully about how best to apply them with their clients.